All right, it's 1 o'clock. We'll call this meeting back to order. And would ask Rhonda, if you don't mind, do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Buck?
Here.
Commissioner Schroeder?
Here.
Commissioner McDaniel?
Here. All right, the first item on this agenda here is updates to the Elbert County zoning and subdivision regulations continued from September 24th of 2025. And notes here say this to be continued till November the 19th of 2025. Commissioner Schroeder, do you have any comments on that?
No, just, is this one, since it's been continued to our legal department here, is this something we need to have an open and closed public hearing and do the continuance in between with a series of motions?
I'm not sure I fully understand the question. If the question is, can you continue this matter and continue to continue this matter and then hold the public hearing? The answer is yes, so long as there's no break in the original notice and the continuance.
Okay, so we don't need to open another public hearing today for this?
This morning, we didn't do anything other than recess until now, so we're still in session.
Oh, I understand that, but as far as this particular item being continued, do we need to open up into public hearing for the continuance?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little slow on the
That's
uptake.
okay.
Yes, open
Yes.
public hearing for this item.
All right, so is there a motion to open a public hearing regarding Elbert County zoning and subdivision regulations?
Mr. Chair, I move we open a public hearing on the updates to Elbert County zoning and subdivision regulations.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right. Is there anybody here who wants to discuss the Elbert County zoning and subdivision regulations? Anybody here to represent this? Okay. And then Jennifer, do you have information with this? Do we want to continue this till the November 19th, 2025?
Yes, sir, in order for you all to continue to have those work sessions like you had earlier this week,
Okay.
and it sounded like there was another one requested.
Okay. Just want to make sure public's interested, we're on the same track. All right, Commissioner Schroeder, you have any comments?
Nope.
Commissioner Buck?
No, sir.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion that we continue this to November 19th of 2025.
Mr. Chair, I move we continue the public hearing on the updates to Elbert County zoning and subdivision regulations to November 19th, 2025, 1 p.m. in this room.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now, entertain a motion to close the public hearing regarding Elbert County zoning and subdivision regulations.
Mr. Chair, I move we close the public hearing on, or we continued it, so we're not going to close it.
We don't need to close it, we'll just leave it open? Is that what?
If you close it, you're closing it for today. We'll reopen it on November 29th, so, or 19th, excuse me. You can close it today.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we close for today the updates to Elbert County zoning and subdivision regulations.
Second.
There's a motion, and a second, all in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Next item on the agenda is the Coyote Ridge PUD 2024-0258. It's continued from October the 8th of 2025. This is regarding a resolution for denial.
Mr. Chair, point of order, please.
Yes, sir.
At the last meeting, at the vote for the denial, reading from the minutes that we were passed this morning are now the accurate and official record for the meeting then. It says County Attorney Lance Ingalls suggested that this item be continued, and Chair McDaniel should direct the Director of Community Planning and County Attorney to draft a resolution of denial to the Coyote Ridge PUD to bring forward the next BOCC meeting to finalize the decision. There was no motion to continue. There was no second to continue.
Hang on a minute. I think you're dead.
There was no motion to continue, no seconding of any motion, and no vote to continue. The next thing that happened after that suggestion that was not heeded was a motion to close the public hearing by Commissioner Buck. And that is troubling to me that we're now trying to continue a hearing now that has been officially closed, so I would ask County Attorney if he could weigh in on his opinion on this.
I have not gone back and listened to the record, and my memory is different from what you're saying, but I trust you having taken the time to go back. So my understanding is we had continued this today and directed myself and Director Jones to prepare a resolution of denial and bring it forward today. If that did not happen on the record, or if it's the board's opinion that did not happen on the record, then I think we need to consider renoticing to put this back on an agenda. Renoticing would be all the original forms of notice if the board feels that we did not properly continue it from the 8th until today. I have not gone back and listened to a hearing, though. I did not know this was going to be an issue today.
Commissioner Schroeder, anything else?
I believe it does accurately reflect what happened. I've not listened to the audio, but in memory, I thought it was odd at the time that there was suggested for a continuance that was not heeded, and then moving on to this. So I think we do have a procedural issue here.
I guess I would suggest we take about a 15, 20-minute recess right now. Jennifer and I will go back and listen to the audio tape and be able to better advise on this. Having not listened to the tape, and again, not knowing this was an issue for today, I didn't prepare for it.
Okay. No objection, we'll recess for 15 minutes. All right, it's 1:26, and we'll call this order, or this meeting back to order. And Lance, do you have any updates, sir?
Yes, sir. So we've listened to the hearing from the 8th, and it's largely how Commissioner Schroeder describes. I suggested the board continue this with instructions to me and Ms. Jones to prepare a resolution of denial, and you, as chair, agreed with that request and asked that if it was captured, you asked Corey if it was captured, but there was no formal motion made. So if the board wants to interpret that as a motion and therefore continuance of jurisdiction, I think you have some discretion to do so, but it did not follow Robert's rules. There was not a motion and a second, and there was not a vote. So the safest thing to do is to renotice and probably hear this matter on November 19th. There's no question of jurisdiction and notice if you renotice. If you want to treat the record that I've just described as an adequate continuance, I think you have some argument to do so. This county is only bound by Robert's rules to the extent it agrees to be so. It's not automatically binding on every entity. I typically recommend that you loosely follow it to the extent that it helps you with your procedure, but not that you do it to your detriment. But that said, you did not have a formal motion to continue and a second and a vote on that specific issue. I think it was clear from the chair's direction that you intended to do that, but again, you didn't have the procedure that typically goes along with it. So the safest thing to do is to renotice for the 19th of November.
All right. Commissioner Schroeder, any questions, comments, agreement, disagree?
No, I have none.
All right, Commissioner Buck.
No comment in regards to whether it was noticed properly or not. I'm ready to move forward today and proceed with the motion for denial. But if, based on the other two commissioners' opinion, they don't want to move forward today and want to continue it, that's their prerogative.
Let me add to the discussion while you're considering what to do. This morning, we had some newly offered comments with respect to this application, and it really raised the question, does the board intend to reopen this particular public hearing for additional comment, for additional testimony, and reconsider its initial decision? I think that's really part of the decision on whether you renotice and whether you come back on the 19th. So if it's the board's intent to do anything other than vote on a written resolution of denial to make sure it captures your reasons for denial, and you intend to reopen the record in any way, it would be good to know that so that people know that if they did not have a chance to fully be heard the first time around, they would have a chance to do so if this is continued. But again, if you decide to move forward with the record I've described to you, treating that as jurisdiction for today, we did prepare a written resolution of denial at the direction, or as I understood the direction of the board, and we will do whatever you need to finalize a decision.
So I'll just add that I would like to do this the proper way, and apologies for the confusion. I would ask the board if they would consider allowing us to renotice, and then would we be able, by renoticing, be able to reconsider or consider the new information that's come to light since, or during that time it was not discussed?
That's a decision for the board,
Okay.
and it's one the board should make. What renoticing does is it clearly establishes the jurisdiction of the board to act on this application. Now, the way this is currently postured is you have held the full public comment portion of the hearing, and you have closed that testimony, and we are in the middle of what I would call board deliberations and board decision-making. You made an initial decision at the meeting on the 8th and directed that that be reduced to writing. That has not been done yet, and so you do not have a final decision yet. Given that you do not have a final decision yet, you could elect to take additional information, and you could even change your minds as far as the decision you make. Until the decision's final, it's not final. And so you still have jurisdiction to act on the application, presuming you have proper notice first.
So with that being said, then, should we entertain a particular motion to continue, is what I'm hearing, is that right?
A continuance today will not be important if we believe that we don't have jurisdiction to make a decision today. You could, though, deliberate on whether you intend to accept any additional information, including the information that was offered at this morning's public comment, before you deliberate or even during your deliberations. So you could make a procedural decision how you're going to move forward on the 19th, and then direct staff to make sure everything is properly renoticed for the 19th. So you could announce how you're going to proceed, but if you decide you don't have proper jurisdiction today, you can't make a decision today on the application. But it's my interpretation you do not yet have a final decision. This is still an open application. At this time, you've closed public testimony, but the board could have the discretion to reopen that.
Okay. Commissioner Schroeder?
So I'll throw this out there. I do think procedure is important of where we are, and I do think that the applicant made significant concession this morning in reducing from 32 in a duplex situation to 16 to single family homes and lots. And in my opinion, that does kind of change the perspective of the application, perhaps more in line with what other folks would be interested in seeing. And so I would be in favor of hearing more information from the applicant as far as exactly how that would impact, what the maybe the redesign might look like. I wouldn't expect them to go into a lot of expense, but just a general location, if you're just replacing where the duplexes are with single-family homes, a generalization, I think would be fine. But I do think that it would be a significant concession on the applicant's part, even though I know our comp plan does encourage multifamily, but for him to make that concession, I think, is a significant change to the application.
Commissioner Buck?
I stated my position earlier. I think the public hearing is closed, and I would move forward with a resolution for denial.
Okay, with all that being said, is there a motion on the?
Mr. Chair, I will move that we repost and renotice public hearing to hear Coyote Ridge PUD subdivision for November the 19th. Is that what the number I never heard? November 19th at this location, and to also include new information that the applicant can present to us.
Just seeking a clarification before you second. If you allow the applicant to present new information, you should also consider allowing the public to comment on that should they wish. So it would be reopening public testimony for that limited purpose.
And I'd be agreeable to that, adding that to my motion.
All right, there is a motion. Is there a second? All right, I will second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, next item is actual adjournment. And is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.